The BBR is back for another week of Pokemon Draft League. This week we take on Trowe Price and his Columbus Cabalions, looking to go 3-0 to start our season. We have played Trowe many times on this channel the past year, where we've somehow always managed to play him right in the middle of our schedule. This is probably our toughest matchup yet, with Trowe packing a lot of powerful offensive threats that will make it difficult for our team and how I like to play defensively. If you have been enjoying the BBR this season, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Our goal is 1,000 subscribers this year, and every subscription helps a ton towards hitting that end of the year goal. Getting into this week's matchup, our team consists of Meowscarada, Iron Hands, Volcarona, Screamtail, Landorus Incarnate, Blastoise, Dragonite, Registeel, and Bruxish. Trowe's team consists of Tornadus T, Kyurem, Slowking, Donphan, Ursaluna, Bronzong, Sylveon, Skuntank, Mienshao, and Flareon. Ursaluna presents the biggest challenge for us in the Teambuilder this week, putting a lot of stress on our defensive pieces. One of the biggest gaps you can consider us having on this team is the lack of a ghost type, which would make it a lot easier to check this Pokemon. Any of the answers to Ursaluna that we put on the team will likely only be able to come in and pressure it out once, meaning that we will need to be able to deal as much damage as possible in that sequence to deter it from coming in again. Trowe's Kyurem is also a massive threat in this matchup due to our team's limited ice resists outside of Registeel, which Kyurem can deal a massive amount of damage using Earth Power. We will still likely need the Registeel on this team to answer a Dragon Dance Kyurem though, one of the threats that we tested against in mocks. This ground coverage also covers Iron Hands, one of our best ways to offensively pressure ice types, meaning that we will have to be very careful to prevent this Pokemon from coming in for free. On our side, Meowscarada has a great matchup this week, with Trowe not having great answers to Triple Axle in this game. Skuntank and Flareon are the only Pokemon that would like to switch into the variety of attacks we will have on our Meowscarada, both of which are though taken advantage of by Landorus if we catch them with a U-turn. And that is where we start our team this week, running heavy duty boots Meowscarada, outspeeding Trowe's entire team bar a Choice Scarf user with jolly 240 speed. 192 attack allows us to kill max HP Tornadus T after Stealth Rocks damage with Triple Axle, allowing us to gain some extra bulk and HP, which we can use to get aggressive with switch-ins on Donphan. Triple Axle is our key move in this matchup, as Trowe's team has limited ways to switch into this move into the long game. Knock Up gives us crucial item removal and coverage against Bronzong, while Flower Trick allows us to hit Ursaluna, getting a critical hit through any bulk ups that are set up. Assault Vest Iron Hands is once again added to the team to manage some of Trowe's most powerful attackers defensively, while putting massive offensive pressure with its powerful dual stab combination. Adamant 160 attack allows us to kill max HP Tornadus T after rocks with Thunder Punch, one of his most difficult threats to remove with Regenerator. If Trowe brings Sylveon to check Iron Hands, we have 92 speed EVs to outspeed 8-speed Sylveon, which we can kill after chip with Heavy Slam. Drain Punch allows us to get health back on switch-ins like Donphan and attack the Kyurem. To answer Ursaluna, we are bringing a defensive Rocky Helmet Screamtail. The key to this set is Endure and Encore, allowing us to force extra hits into the Rocky Helmet with Endure, killing off Flame Orb Ursaluna quicker, and Encore to punish potential setup and hit Protect with Encore, which allows us to get our health back into the late game, or to enable the next Pokemon coming in after it goes down to take a hit from Ursaluna if required. Ice Beam rounds out our set, dealing damage to the Ursaluna and Tornadus T, keeping the health low to enable our Meowscarada. Defensive Registeel is our stealth rocker this week, with double duty to check threats like the Kyurem and Ursaluna if Screamtail can't get the job done. Thunderwave gives us a status move to pressure incoming Pokemon like Tornadus T and Kyurem. Heavy Slam gives us coverage then for the Sylveon, and Body Press allows us to pressure Dragon Dance Kyurem that is trying to set up on us, and with our little bit of speed EVs, allows us to kill Ursaluna Blood Moon by outspeeding it. While defensive Blastoise has great utility in this game, Trowe has limited options to play around the powerful Shell Smash Blastoise set. 252 speed at +2 outspeed Trowe's entire team, allowing us to go to Modest to maximize our damage output. Surf has a powerful stab move, allows us to deal massive damage to the majority of his team, adding Dark Pulse's coverage for Slowking and Dragon Pulse's coverage for the Kyurem. Our final team member is Volcarona. While not a setup threat, gives us an additional way to offensively pressure Trowe's team. Heavy Duty Boots allows us to switch into Stealth Rocks freely, keeping our HP high to switch into Pokemon like Skuntank or Flareon. Morning Sun also allows us to have longevity into the late game, allowing us to more freely switch into the aforementioned Pokemon. Overheat gives us the most powerful stab option, dealing massive damage to potential incoming Tornadus Ts. Bug Buzz allows us to break the Slowking, and Giga Drain gives us coverage to check both Ursaluna and Donphan, giving us HP back in the process. And that is our team for week number 3 of the BBR. Shout out to Obo as always for all of the prep and mock support this week. Let's get right into the battle. So Trowe has basically the team we were kind of expecting. I think Mienshao was a Pokemon we were kind of thinking would probably come just because of its ability to pressure some of my team. But we're going to lead with Meowscarada pretty much every time. The only real threat to this lead was Choice Scarf Mienshao. He could be Choice Scarf lead Torn to catch me. That's always a possibility, and we could just go to Iron Hands to be very, very safe and protect against that if we want to. But I think certainly we're going to take the turn probably to U-turn in front of that. Kind of a risk, but I think one, probably worth taking in the early game if we get there. So good luck, have fun to Trowe. This is a big week for us. If we win this game, going 3-0 is a huge, huge start to this season. And he does lead with the Torn. So I'm kind of curious. I do think I actually should scout for this. I never scouted for it in mocks. So it would be a little bit of a a change of pattern. But if I look at his team, he doesn't really have a great way to switch into this Pokemon. And I kind of wonder if his game plan is to try to bait this with the Choice Scarf set. That is one thing that comes to mind here, and one thing I want to think about. So I do switch out first. This will give me the crucial information if he switches out. And he does withdraw. Okay, so we do outspeed, so a U-turn would have been really nice there. But alas, we know this is not Choice Scarf, and we do get this in on Skunk Tank, which is a pretty good turn, all things considered, actually. I'm kind of okay with this. So he could go for the knockoff. I think what I want to do is just, I could Drain Punch. I do really think that knockoff is coming, so I can go into my Volcarona. That would be a decent play. I do want to keep this Assault Vest kind of as long as possible. I do have this as well. But I think I just want to pressure as much damage as possible. Super Fang does come out, so it is a decent amount of damage. Oh my god, I have an even amount of HP, which is a little bit frustrating. Not a perfect build by any means. But this puts us well above range of the, what's it called? Well safe in for Torn still. So this is a Rocky Helmet set. So designed, primarily to kind of switch into the, what's it called? The Meowscarada. And at this point, I'm just going to go right into Volcarona. I could expect the knockoff here, but at this point, given the HP that I'm at, I have to protect my Assault Vest for the Torn. We know the Torn is now not Choice Scarf, and if we can just continue, if we can break this Pokemon, then I really do like our position into this game with Meowscarada. Meowscarada has a really good matchup from that point forward. It looks like the game plan that Trowe is going for here is using ground spam to break a Registeel Bring to enable Kyurem. That was kind of the game plan that was predicted in mocks to come. Let's see what he goes into here. He goes into Regen. Okay, that's a little bit unfortunate because I actually kind of really would have liked to be in on this guy with my team, I would have really actually liked to have been in with this guy with my Iron Hands. Now Overheat is going to do a lot here to me. Well, if it's max attack, it does have a chance to kill. I do want to preserve the HP on this thing. I do likely expect a U-turn, so what I want to do right now, this is losing some damage on my Screamtail early. That is impartial. Use it for the Ursaluna. We do have multiple ways to deal with it. I'd just like to go in here early. He's just going to taunt. Okay. So this is kind of the taunt set that we expected here. So it could be taunt setup. Yeah, kind of surprised. I guess taunt makes sense. It would have been nice to have attacked there. I could go for the U-turn now. I mean, he's probably going to go for the U-turn or try to set up. I think I put myself into a little bit of a kind of backed myself into a little bit of a corner here with this Pokemon. I think what I want to do, honestly, is even if he nasty plots, I want to just go for the Ice Beam and put it in range of Meowscarada. And he's going to U-turn. Okay. So that damage is not going to matter. We know it's just kind of a breaker set and not a, what's it called? A breaker set and not necessarily a setup set. So that's good. So taunt U-turn is good. Let's see Nelly. Bronzong comes out. So Bronzong is certainly going to want to get up Stealth Rocks this turn. I think that is kind of certainly what he's going for this turn. He could go for the Rock Slide. I think Rock Slide would be a fair play here, but I do think Stealth Rocks is probably the most likely play. this Volcarona slot is really difficult to, it was kind of really difficult to pinpoint how I wanted to take advantage of this. I'm kind of okay if he wants to go for the Rock Slide. So he goes for the Trick Room. So what I expect at this point now is this to be is him to kind of try to get in. So this could be Trick Room, Heat Proof, like Weakness Policy now as a consideration here that we have to be mindful of. So I think what I want to do is, I live in a Rock Slide, and if he has to be this Heat Proof set to deal a lot of damage. So I just want to get a big Overheat off. I do live this Rock Slide. No Flinch would be nice. Damn, that did a lot more than I expected. And I get a big Overheat off here. This should do a really good amount of damage. That kills. Wow, that's huge. So I'll take that trade any day of the week. I'll take a Volcarona trading for this Bronzong. Now Ursaluna does come in here and can present a threat, certainly. Yeah, in comes the Big Bear. But as I've kind of alluded to, I do have Screamtail in the back that can kind of manage this. I do have Rocky Helmet, I do have Endure, I do have Encore. I have a lot of tools at my disposal to handle the Big Bad Bear. And that's a huge turn there. The fact that I lived that and was able to get the kill, just, game changing there. So let's see what he wants to go for. He goes for the Body Slam. That's good because that's not going to do a lot of damage. And he's going to get hit with that Rocky Helmet. And I'm not going to get parried, which is, as I said, very, very important here. So it's not the, what's it called? It's not a Flame Orb set, which makes sense. I think what I want to do is Wish up. There's 2 more turns of Trick Room left. I think I'm going to Wish because I can Wish Endure and gain all my health back on this Pokemon. He's just going to Sword Stance. Okay, that is perfect. Because I can use the Wish and the Endure to get back up to full HP, and then attack this Pokemon after the fact. So I'm actually in a really, really good spot, I think, personally. And let's just go for, if he goes for another setup move, I mean, he can't really go for setup here. That would not make a lot of sense. So let's just go for the Endure. Get that little bit of Rocky Helmet chip, get our Wish off, and yeah, he's going to go for the Headlong Rush. Perfect. Perfect turn here. Perfect turn. He's not going to get Rocky Helmet, of course, but he's going to get those drops. Oh, he did. This does hit Rocky Helmet. I don't know why I thought this didn't hit Rocky Helmet. Now we're in a really good spot. The dimensions are now back to normal. We do have Ice Beam from this thing, which should do a good amount of damage to Ursaluna. After this and a Rocky Helmet, I mean, it should basically be dead. Now we do lose this, which is a little bit unfortunate, and we do have Regiseal though in the back that can do a decent amount here. So let's go for an Ice Beam, get some good chip. After a -1, any freeze? Any freezers? Oh my god. That's so funny. You know what? I feel bad for calling it and getting it, but hey, look, it is what it is. Screamtail's whole job was to neutralize this Pokemon, and the fact that we basically just, neutralized its ability to set up under Trick Room, attack through, put a lot of chip, it gets revenge killed down by the whole team. Even when hazards went up, it was going to be a problem. So, this is unfortunate for Trowe, because now I have my Screamtail for the rest of the game. I mean, at this point, I'm just going to Ice Beam again and just kill this Pokemon. Just give me the Ursaluna. And that's game-changing right there. That is absolutely game-changing. I feel bad for Trowe because last season he had a lot of issues with hacks as well. And he comes back and I think I hacked him maybe last time too. I don't remember. But that is a super unfortunate turn with the Ice Beam. And now Skunk Tank is at low HP. Donphan, he's kind of running out of ways to kind of win this game. So in comes this Pokemon. What I kind of think is going to happen here is he could potentially try to set up. I do have my Registeel here. It's going to be super well equipped to deal with this Pokemon. Is super well equipped to deal with this if it's any sort of Dragon Dance set. And it is, okay, so it's going to be special, which is fine. We take that every day of the week. And then the leftovers is going to give us all that HP back. I think what I want to do here is, so he might go into Donphan here. I do want to preserve this Pokemon. I don't think he can stay in. I don't think he wants to risk a Thunder Wave on his Torn. I think that would be really bad. If I can get this Volcarona in on the Donphan, I can set up a situation actually to set up with the Blastoise against Donphan and actually win the game potentially. I would need to break the... I would actually need to break... What's it called? I'm going to body press. I would need to break the Sturdy to do that. So let's body press just to break Sturdy on any Donphan that comes in. We haven't been able to deal damage to that Pokemon yet. So to set up our Blastoise endgame, that's going to be crucial to do. He could go Torn, by all means. Like, Torn's a possibility. But I do have Scream Tail now. And given that he's a taunt U-turn set and he's not set up, then that Pokemon becomes much less threatening. And oh, he stays in. Okay, so I'm going to be able to get a massive body press off on this Pokemon. Deal a huge amount of damage. Question is now, I mean, I don't really have a reason to save this Pokemon at this point. The Pokemon's taking a lot of damage. What is this set? Let's see if we can figure out what we're working with. Given the body press damage, we're probably looking at no investment or like very minimal investment. And then Earth Power is obviously just going to kill on the run back. The question is do I want to save this Pokemon in the future for anything? Volcarona does have actually like potentially some use case against the Skuntank still. The question is what do I want to bring out after? Meowscarada can come out after and click knockoff. This Pokemon can even come out too. Hell, I could even set up, but I mean, he's probably going to have freeze dry. So I'm just going to body press, see what he wants to do. He's just going to kill me. Okay, perfectly fine. Goodbye to Registeel. Kind of did what you had to do really in this game, was to get up a pretty good situation for me here. And I think what I want to do now is I do have Iron Hands. Iron Hands is an option. Well, not really, actually. It does take way too much. So I think I'm just going to go into the Meowscarada. Meowscarada will be able to pick off this Pokemon with the, what's it called? The knockoff is a range here. Triple Axle is not a range, given the damage that we saw on Body Press earlier. And I'm okay to become an Ice type, certainly. So I think I want to go for the Triple Axle here. It's really hard for him to switch into Triple Axle as well with this Pokemon. I guess he does have the Skuntank in the back. Which actually with the Aftermath could do a lot, but is there a way to be safe around that Pokemon? If I U-turn, I can sack Volcarona. I still have setup opportunity. I think I need to be, this is probably so soft to U-turn here, but I think he's going to go Suntank. Yeah, he's going to U-turn, perfect. If I get that Skuntank play correct, then I'm in a really good spot here. Damn, okay. And that U-turn's going to go off. It's going to do a little bit of Rocky Helmet Chip, but we get it into a good range. And the question here is it time? The one thing we have to be mindful of is of any Mirror Herb Andes in the back. We do need to be mindful of the Mirror Herbers, because those Pokemon can be, you know, could be problematic. And I prefer to set up on something more obvious, like the, what is it called? I prefer to set up on something different than this. We're going to go to Volcarona, try to claim a kill here with Volcarona. Overheat is the most spammable move. I can go for Bug Buzz as well. Bug Buzz doesn't miss, so let's not miss a move here. Well, I guess he's going to... Oh, he's going to withdraw. Okay. Interesting. What does he go into? To the regen. Okay. Man, if I overheated here, that would have been a massive turn. So, I mean, at this point, I kind of do... I mean, if I sack this Pokemon, I get a really, really good turn to Ice Punch with my Iron Hands. And I could bring in the Donphan, set up for some decent turns. Do I need this Pokemon at this point? Probably not, right? I mean, if he misses a... I mean, he can U-turn here. He can miss a Hurricane. I'm just going to overheat, see what happens, see if he overplays. He Bleak Winds. Okay. So Bleak Wind Storm. Played for a chance to miss. Didn't happen. But we're learning more about this Pokemon every single turn. And now this is a really good turn for Iron Hands, actually. Iron Hands gets to come in here. I mean, he has to switch out. There's no way that he can stay in on this turn. I think what I want to do here is, like, he could Bleak Wind. That's going to do basically no damage to this. Ice Punch is going to be able to cover pretty much anything that wants to come in. Given that he's Special Kyurem, I don't expect that to be That's not a Pokemon that this can deal with anymore. He could stay in, but you know, he can't kill me if he stays in. So let's just Ice Punch, protect against the Donphan that could come in. I really want to catch that Donphan. Catching Donphan would be huge, so I kind of expect Skuntank to come in here and get the rest of the damage that it needs, or get the rest of the damage that it can possibly get in this battle. And yeah, in comes the Skuntank. That's going to be a kill for Iron Hands, but unfortunately, we're going to essentially lose our Iron Hands in the process of doing that. Now, one thing to keep in mind with Blastoise, because of our set, like, we actually can just attack this. We don't have Ice Beam anymore, which is a little bit frustrating, so we can't just attack the Torn. But we know it, now that we know it's set, we know that we can Triple Axle that Pokemon. And Triple Axle is very free the rest of this battle. He has no switch into Triple Axle, so Meowscarada should be able to do enough to clean up the rest of the game. I expect Kyurem to come out here. If I was a betting man, in comes Kyurem. And you know what, hey, I won the bet. Kyurem did come out. So I do expect a Earth Power to come out here. I have no reason to switch on an Earth Power here. I'm just going to let him have an opportunity to freeze dry. All right, perfect. So we freeze dries to protect against the switch. So at this point, I mean, I think I just go for the U-turn and go into I go for the U-turn. And the reason I want to go for the U-turn is I still have a little bit of risk in this game with the Kyurem to lose to Triple Axle Miss. And I want to protect against Triple Axle Miss as much as possible in this scenario, if I can. Because I expect him to just sack this Pokemon off, to be honest. Now would be a nice time to have this stupid, what's it called? The friggin' meme health bar thing. So I'm just going to U-turn. I mean, this is very, very passive, and he's going to switch, so I can't even get this Pokemon. If he goes Donphan, that would be massive. But he's just going to go into this. So this Triple Axle is definitely killing, and maybe I should have just gone for it. I think that one might have been just a soft play. He has Rocky Helmet, okay. Is there any reason I don't just go into my... I'm going to go into this. I think Meowscarada still has this game in the back, and maybe I just need to start clicking Triple Axle. I think that U-turn was way too passive and just unnecessary in this situation. I'm just going to Ice Beam. I expect the Taunt to come out here. Yep, Taunt. And this Ice Beam should do a decent amount here to this Pokemon. The goal, obviously, is not to really kill this Pokemon, but to put it, you know, to weaken it up, let's say, for the rest of the build. I really would like him to give me a turn. He's just going to Bleak Wind and try to kill me. Okay. So I think at this point, because I've been dealing so much damage to this, I will get a turn to just knock off here with the Meowscarada, which is important. He's going to U-turn. I do live that Rocky Helmet. I mean, he is in range of of all these moves. So if I get an Ice Beam off on the Kyurem, that's going to be pretty big. The only problem is he could be Dragon Dance Special, and that would actually be a really awkward situation for me. Though I think I should live Freeze Dry from this Kyurem at this point. I think this Ice Beam should even potentially be a 2-hit KO. No, okay. So I shake off the Taunt. The question is what do I... How do I lose this game? I have the necessary chip on this that I can spam knockoff now. I think it's just Ice Beam. What would he do here? This thing doesn't get Roost anymore. I know that's like a thing in this generation. Oh, I should have Triple Axle. That was just such a soft play. I gave him too many turns to get back into this game. Yeah, it doesn't get Roost anymore. I mean, I'm just gonna let him kill me. I expect him to just kill me. Oh, he's gonna withdraw. Okay, so he's trying to regen spam on this guy then. Okay. Okay, I see the vision of what he's trying to do here. I think this like keeps him at the same HP though, basically, the entire time. He just like ends up getting chipped down on his other Pokemon. So I'm just gonna Ice Beam again. Bleak Wind miss. Okay, that's a little bit unfortunate. I don't think this one particularly matters because I can just go into Meowscarada, and I think the end game is pretty much locked up at this point. We get the Torn with the Screamtail. Screamtail, dude, Screamtail's getting so many kills this season. Of all the Pokemon to be picking up this many kills, Screamtail is putting in the finest of work as a threat. And now, I mean, I don't know what he goes into here. Neither Donphan nor Kyurem really have the tools to win this game. And in comes the Kyurem. I mean, it could be Rest, I guess, but if he gets Rest and I get a free turn into my Meowscarada, I'm just trying to think of like what are even the potential ways that this can end up poorly for me. I think this is just some sort of boot special attacker to pressure my team as a way to threaten Registeel. He's just going to freeze dry. Okay, goodbye Screamtail, but as I said, Meowscarada can come in and basically clean up the rest of this game. We're going to lock into Knockoff because that gives us the Dark type to prevent getting Ice Sharded here. And we don't have a chance to miss. He could be Choice... I mean, he can't be Choice Scarf because he switched up moves. We saw that on Registeel. And even if he switches into Donphan to get some Rocky Helmet chip, we are resisted, or we will be neutral to Ice Shard at that point, so that won't be a threat either. So I think we've sequenced this pretty well. I think not the most confident I've ever been in a matchup and in a team that I've had going into a battle, but certainly I think the turns with the Ursaluna were certainly to our benefit. I would say we've had some beneficial turns in this league, is how I would put it. Certainly. Question is here is do I have any risk? I guess I can play for differential here. What's my risk against Donphan Choice Band? I do have pretty high risk actually against Choice Band Donphan to not just go for a Flower Trick here. And you know, I don't want to there's no reason for me to risk oh, that is a fucking bulky Pokemon. I'm just going to Earthquake, okay. No reason for me to risk Choice Band here in this spot if I don't have to, but it looks like it's just going to be some super bulky set anyway. We'll go for another one. He's just going to Ice Shard, not Choice Banded, and that means Blastoise is offensive and will be able to pull this game out the bag. A 1-0 win against Trowe Price, it looks like. Great game to Trowe. Apologies for the freeze on the Ursaluna. That was very, very frustrating situation to have played into. But alas, we'll take that 3-0 in the BBR. We haven't started 3-0 in a league in a long, long time. The big three are running it right now. They don't want to see the big three at the top of the standings, and that's where we're at right now. So good game to Trowe, as I said. Next week we play against Dell and the Edmonton Coilers. Shout out to the Edmonton Oilers for losing in the Stanley Cup Finals this past year. We'll see you guys all next week. And as always, have a wonderful day.